One of the biggest lessons, the most invaluable lessons I've learned in my 20s about finance is from helping my mum plan her retirement. And honestly, it was pretty rocky and a pretty anxiety-inducing experience because she's never really thought about it. And as a single mum who raised me on her own, she gave up her career, she poured all of her time and attention into raising me, getting us by. I grew up very loved, but I felt also quite anxious because I never really knew where we stood financially. My dad was kind of the book smarts person, but my mum, she was more of the caretaker, and she was the type of person who says, oh, money isn't my thing, I'm not good with numbers. But as she approached retirement age, it did feel like this looming cloud over us, over me. Like, what's going to happen? How is she? Like, did she save up anything? And I kind of knew the answer was no. And that's when everything had to shift. We reached out to a financial planner. We had to stare those numbers in the eyes and see, how do we make the math, and where are we at in terms of debt, in terms of assets, like where are we at? And I want to share with you some of the key lessons I learned in this process, because this has reshaped how I think about planning for my own retirement in my 20s as someone who is self-employed, and maybe you can take away something important as well that can really set you up for success. So number one, I found out something really interesting is that you don't need to own a home to retire comfortably. I think we were raised that way because our parents' generation, their property value appreciated quite a bit. My mum, her biggest asset was the fact that we had a family home, the home that I grew up in. And we had this fixation that, no, of course we can't sell the family home. Like, this is all we have. This is everything that, we saved up for over the years. But when we were staring at the numbers dead in the eyes, we couldn't go by. Mum wouldn't be able to retire without selling that house. And then she wouldn't have any source of income. And for someone who English was a second language, she also struggled with some health issues recently. She wasn't in a place to go back to work at all. So selling her property after we did the math was the right approach to go so. And when she sold it, she cleared any mortgage debts and started from a clean slate for all the sales proceeds. She ended up putting some in investment, putting some in retirement, and now she really doesn't really need to worry about money anymore. It's self-sustaining. And later on, when my career is more stable, I can of course pitch in, but honestly, she can stand on her 2 feet, which made me realize lesson number 2 is that your money can work very hard for you. You working harder only takes you so far until you burn out, get sick. And my mom was sick and she couldn't work, and language was a barrier. But thank goodness, now that we've put them into the right investments, put some in super, all these things, it's generating interest month after month and it's covering all her expenses. And it really opened my eyes that, oh, okay, yes, investments is a reliable way to go. I think because I never had that financial education growing up, the thought of investing, planning for retirement, superannuation in Australia, it was a very foreign concept. But talking to a planner and just laying out that blueprint and showing us the numbers and the projections has been really cool to say, okay, her money was going to last until she's in her late 80s, and then pensions kick in, and then you'll be able to support her as well. So she really doesn't need to worry. So that was a huge relief. Lesson number 3 is that interest, it can work for you or against you. And our family, we've never been into credit cards, very conservative when it comes to that. But somehow purchasing a property and a mortgage for us didn't feel like interest. We don't think about interest that much. It's just how much you spend to own your home. And it seems like the mortgage with that little bit of interest is worth it. But interest, mortgages, like anything, grows like weeds. Because we were looking at the numbers and I was shocked to see that how little of the principal has been repaid over the years. We thought we must be close to paying off this home, right? But no, because in your first 15 years, I've heard, your majority of your payment is going towards the interest and not the principal for your house. And at that interest rate, you are just chucking money to the bank. And on the flip side, earning interest, it was a foreign concept. You can earn interest. I opened up a high interest savings account about 3 years ago, and it was 4.95%. And I didn't realize all the way leading up until then, I had a bank account since I was 15. I think the interest is 0.2% or something, incredibly low. but they're a high interest savings account. And if you put it into ETFs, it could grow 10% per year or conservatively 7% a year. And that is literally money working for you. Like my mum right now, she puts some of her money cash into a high interest savings account. And it is literally making her so much money, the money that she was giving to the bank in her mortgage. And lesson number 4 is that time is your best money builder. When we ran the numbers, the biggest difference wasn't strategy, it was time. Time in the market beats timing the market, and starting 10 years earlier could double or even triple outcomes. And I got into like putting numbers into interest calculators, like compound interest calculators. Just search one on Google, like compound interest calculator, and start playing around with the numbers. I put in like 7% as the annual interest, just as like it's a conservative amount that our financial planner recommended, because usually the market can return up to like 8, 9, 10% on average, but 7% is like a good baseline to have realistic projections in case anything happens, which it always does. And just see like the time horizon. Say if you put like $1,000 in every single month at 7% per annum, see that graph just go like that. It's like a hockey shape. It starts off really flat, quite slow, quite boring to be honest. And then you look at 10 years later, and you look at 20 years later, and you look at 30 years later, and it is quite astounding. It is really quite astounding. So that's what prompted me to like, okay, put a lot more into investment at early age, because it's really about how long you can save your money in there for. And later on, year to year, you will be amazed at how much it earns you. And the final lesson is it's never too early or too late to start planning. I somehow thought that in my 20s it was too early to think about retirement, but because I'm self-employed, I realized no one is saving into my superannuation, which is the retirement savings in Australia. I have to do that for myself. And for my mum, she was in her 50s, so she thought it was too late. Like, she hasn't thought about retirement whatsoever. She has never invested. She'd never put a single cent in her retirement account, her super at all, and she was worried it was too late. But once we do the numbers, because she's accumulated assets, she was able to sell off her home, so she had a larger principal to work for her. And even in the next 10, 15 years, until she reaches like 65 years old, 70 years old, it's still gonna grow quite significantly. And so it's never too early or too late. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, now is the time to start thinking about how you can make your money work for you. And of course, the easier it is for you to earn more, the easier it is to save more. Like the more you earn, the more you save. By kind of cutting out your matcha lattes or your cappuccinos, it can only save you a couple of dollars every single day. And to be honest, those little joys is sometimes what gets you through life. So the other way is to earn more. And now it is so much easier to earn more. Like when I was, I'd say 18, I started making money online by working with clients virtually, remotely, not going to the office or anything. And I started my own freelance design business. And if you are curious how you can make consistent 10K plus months doing exactly what you love, especially if you're a professional service provider, if you're a bookkeeper, a videographer, a designer, a photographer, a coach, you can make 10K months with the right clients, with the right approach. I'm going to teach you everything in my upcoming 10K month masterclass. If you want to know how to do sales as a freelancer, how to reach out to the right clients, how to actually convert them into paying clients, how to get them onto a recurring subscription, which is the secret to consistency, I'm going to walk you through everything. So scan this QR code on the left and be sure to jump on to our next live masterclass. I'm so excited. At the end of the day, money is a tool that's going to work for you. And money is something that buys you freedom. And if you enjoy this video, I know you're also going to love this one on the left right here. We also have a podcast called the Brand Creator Podcast if you like listening on the go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next one. Bye.